Have you ever felt that familiar knot of frustration when you're learning English?
Oh, definitely.
Maybe that thought, I'll never speak fluently, kind of creeps in. Or you back away from conversations worried about making a mistake.
Yeah, it's incredibly common. It can really feel like you're just hitting a massive wall.
Totally. That feeling of being, overwhelmed by all the new information or just constantly worrying if you're saying it right.
It's a huge barrier. But what if the most powerful solution isn't, say, another grammar book, but something, well, much more fundamental to how your brain actually works?
Exactly. And that's what we're doing today, a real deep dive into the transformative impact of positive thinking on learning English.
Right.
And this isn't just about, feeling happy-go-lucky. It's about really cultivating a deep belief in your own ability to learn and to grow. So our mission today is to pull out the key insights and actionable strategies from the material we looked at, the power of positive English learning. We want to show you how profoundly your mindset can actually change your results.
Yeah, and we'll dig into specific examples, practical techniques, things you can use to gain knowledge quickly, thoroughly, but without feeling overwhelmed.
Right.
And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is the direct link. The link between your mindset and your brain's actual capacity.
How so?
Well, when you approach learning with a positive outlook, your brain genuinely works better. It becomes more receptive. It makes it easier to remember new words, new phrases.
And to actually use them when you need them.
Precisely. Think about it like this. Stress and anxiety, which often come from negative thinking, they can trigger that fight or flight response, which literally makes it harder for your brain to form and access memories, but a calm, confident mind. That's a mind primed for learning.
So it's not just a nice idea. There's a real sort of neurological thing happening here.
Absolutely.
But let's unpack positive thinking.
Yeah.
What does it really mean when we're talking about learning English? Because, like we said, it's not about walking around the fake smile, ignoring the challenges.
No, exactly. At its core, positive thinking in this context means believing in your inherent ability to learn and to grow. It's about self-efficacy.
Self-efficacy.
Yeah, that strong conviction that you have the skills, you have the capacity to achieve your goals, even when the path gets tricky.
Right.
And when you hold on to that belief, your brain functions, well, optimally. The material actually uses a wonderful analogy for this. It compares learning English to planting seeds.
Ah, yes, the garden analogy. That was quite clear.
It really is. Positive thoughts are like the good seeds. You nurture them with effort, and they grow into strong, vibrant plants. That's your English skills growing.
Makes sense.
Conversely, if you're sowing negative thoughts, constantly doubting yourself, well, the garden stays pretty barren. Your mindset literally prepares the ground for learning.
That makes so much sense.
Yes.
And it's not just theory, is it? The material we looked at was packed with real stories, people who turned their English journey around just by shifting their mindset.
Totally. Inspiring stuff.
One of the most common hurdles seems to be that fear of mistakes, or that little voice saying, I'm just not good enough. But story after story showed how a mindset shift tackles this head on.
Absolutely. Take Anna's story, for example. She started out really shy, completely terrified of making mistakes, like physically scared.
Yeah, I remember reading about her.
Her big breakthrough came when she really embraced the idea, the affirmation, mistakes help me learn. She didn't just say it, she internalized it.
So it wasn't just words.
No, she even started writing down 3 positive things about her English progress every single day. Small things, but consistent.
And what happened?
Within weeks, her husband noticed this remarkable change. She was speaking more naturally. Her confidence just soared. Her belief got so strong, she actually went out and joined an English club.
Wow.
And later, this is incredible, she passed an English exam, all fueled by that shift in belief.
That's powerful. And she wasn't the only one. There was also John, the delivery driver, right? He had serious doubts initially.
Yeah, John's journey kind of mirrors Anna's in some ways. He started doing daily affirmations, literally looking in the mirror and telling himself, I am improving, I can learn English.
Must have felt a bit strange at first.
Probably, but he stuck with it. And that consistent practice led to this really noticeable increase in his confidence. He became more willing to actually speak with customers.
And he started enjoying it.
Yes, he started to enjoy the process. And there was another John, a bus driver, who tackled his fear of mistakes by constantly reminding himself, mistakes help me learn, I will try every day.
So changing that internal script.
It fundamentally changes your external actions. It really does.
Another theme that really jumped out was the success people had with small, consistent steps. especially people with really busy lives.
Oh, definitely. It's easy to think you need hours and hours of study every day.
Right, which feels impossible for most people.
Exactly. But so many learners found success just by finding any time, however small, that little by little approach, incredibly effective.
Like James. Busy job, family.
Yeah, James. His belief was simply, I can find time for small steps. So he committed to just 5 new words a day. That's it.
5 words. Seems tiny.
Seems tiny, but after a few months, he was speaking confidently with his colleagues. Then there was another James, a mechanic and a dad. He found his time by listening to English audio just before falling asleep.
So finding those little pockets of time.
Exactly. These aren't huge, dramatic changes. They're consistent, positive effort staking. Sumikasane stacking up.
And it wasn't just the guys. Sarah, the working mom, her story really resonated.
She really embodied this, sometimes feeling totally exhausted, right?
Yeah.
But she committed to the idea even 10 minutes a day is enough to grow. And she did it by listening to English during her lunch break. Simple.
Just 10 minutes.
Just 10 minutes. But that small, consistent change, driven by her positive mindset, led to much clearer speaking at work. Her coworkers actually noticed and commented.
That must have felt great.
Huge boost. And there was this really moving moment for her when she realized she could just naturally chat in English with her young son. Yeah. She saw how far she'd come.
Yeah.
And think about Sarah the nurse. On really tough days, she'd tell herself, I am doing my best. Small steps are okay. That self-kindness, that patience, it allowed her to keep going.
It's about that self-compassion enabling perseverance, isn't it?
Precisely.
Then there was David, the factory worker. Long shifts, tough job. He kept a notebook.
Yeah, just for 1 new word or sentence each day. Tiny action.
So what kept him going? It sounds like it would be easy to just stop.
What kept him going was a really powerful, positive vision. He pictured himself having confident conversations in the future. That vision, plus the tiny daily action, gave him the consistency he needed.
Vision plus action.
Exactly. And we also heard about David the mechanic, listening to English on the radio while working, repeating sentences out loud.
Right, fitting it into the workday.
And David the driver, using his phone while driving, practicing with his wife later. The common thread with all these Davids: clear vision, small, consistent actions, and often support from family, like his wife.
That support system seems important too.
Very. And sometimes it's just about pure resourcefulness, using what you've got, even if you feel you don't have traditional resources.
Like Tom, the taxi driver.
Absolutely. Tom didn't have access to lots of fancy materials, so he got creative. He literally practiced by talking to himself in English after his shifts ended.
Just talking to himself in the cab.
Yeah. Building his confidence, sentence by sentence, until he felt ready to actually talk with his passengers.
The key thing there is
he didn't wait. He didn't wait for the perfect time or the ideal setup. He just started with what he had and, crucially, kept that positive outlook.
That's a fantastic example of just starting where you are. What about people who felt maybe their age was getting in the way? We hear that sometimes.
Yeah, that came up too. Paul, a factory worker, initially believed English is too hard because he felt he was older.
A common belief.
Very common. But he completely flipped that script in his head. He changed his mindset to, I can learn English, I will get better.
So he consciously changed his self-talk.
He did. And he committed to just 15 minutes a day. He also found a practice partner, Lisa, which apparently made it more fun and kept him accountable.
Having a partner helps.
Definitely. And Paul the farmer, same idea. Learning little by little, steady effort despite long, hard work days. These stories really show that those perceived limits, time, age, whatever, they can often be overcome with the right mindset.
These transformations are just so inspiring. They make it crystal clear that a positive mindset isn't just about feeling good, right? It's the catalyst. It fuels the action.
It really is. It gives you the energy to keep going.
So for you listening right now, let's get practical. What are some tools, some mindset shifts you can actually implement today to put this power to work? Let's start with daily affirmations and that internal self-talk.
Okay, absolutely. A really powerful, simple practice is to start your day by saying it out loud. Today, I will learn new English words. It sets a positive intention right away.
Okay.
And when you face challenges or you catch yourself thinking, oh, I'm so bad at English, consciously stop and replace it.
Replace it with what?
Replace it with something like, I am learning and I am getting better. It's like actively rewriting that negative script playing in your head.
And when things feel genuinely tough, Maybe you had a bad practice session or you feel discouraged.
Remind yourself, I am improving every day, even if it doesn't feel like it in that exact moment. You can also use more specific affirmations like the ones we heard. I can learn English. I will speak better each day. I believe in myself.
Say them out loud.
Yeah, saying them aloud can be really powerful. The material even suggested a short mental prep ritual before you practice, like close your eyes, take a breath, and say, this time is for me. I am growing. I am learning.
Sort of centering yourself.
Exactly. Or even just take a few deep breaths and affirm, I am ready to learn. I will do my best. It primes your mind.
And what about those moments, we all have them, when you're just tired or feel totally overwhelmed?
This is crucial. Be kind to yourself. It's okay. Tell yourself it's okay to rest. Tomorrow I will try again. Or I am doing my best right now. Small steps are okay.
So permission to rest.
Absolutely. That self-compassion isn't making excuses. It's a vital part of positive thinking. It prevents burnout and keeps you in the game long term.
Okay, that's key. Now, the fear of mistakes.
Yeah.
It holds so many people back. We saw how reframing it was transformative for people like Anna and John. What's the core message there?
The core message is really clear and simple. Mistakes help me learn. Full stop.
Internalize that.
Yes. They are a natural, frankly unavoidable part of learning anything new. They actually show you're trying, you're engaging with the language.
So instead of beating yourself up.
The advice is simple. Smile if you can. Acknowledge it. Maybe even say aloud, that's okay, I'll do better next time. Or just think it. This reframes mistakes from being failures into being, well, invaluable learning opportunities, data points almost.
Data points, I like that. It takes the sting out. Okay, what about setting goals and tracking progress? How does that fit with a positive mindset?
It fits perfectly because it gives you tangible evidence of growth. So the advice is set one main English goal. Maybe it's vocabulary, maybe fluency, maybe understanding movies without subtitles.
Okay, one main goal.
Write it down. And then, maybe daily, affirm, I am getting closer to my goal. But then break it down.
Break it down into
small, reachable steps, things you can actually achieve regularly, like learn 3 new words today or speak English for 5 minutes straight.
Achievable chunks.
Exactly. You could even create a success wall, literally just a piece of paper where you list your small wins. Spoke English with a shopkeeper today. Understood a tricky phrase.
Building a visible record.
Yes. It builds momentum and provides concrete proof against that negative voice that says you're not progressing.
And how do you keep that momentum going? It's easy to start comparing yourself to others who seem way ahead.
That's a huge trap. Daily reflection helps. Maybe just write down one positive thing about your practice session that day. Or think about a conversation that went reasonably well.
Focus on the positives.
And crucially, compare yourself only to your past self. Ask, did I learn something new today? Am I even slightly better than I was yesterday or last week? That's the comparison that matters. Forget everyone else's journey.
Focus on your own path. That makes sense. Now, the idea of visualization sounds a bit out there. How does it work practically for English learning?
It's actually very practical. Visualization is about actively, vividly imagining yourself succeeding. So you imagine yourself speaking English clearly, confidently.
Actually picture it.
Yes. Spend a few minutes each day, maybe before practice or before bed, just envisioning the success. See yourself in a conversation, understanding easily, speaking smoothly. Feel the confidence.
What does that do?
It mentally prepares you. It helps build that self-belief we talked about. It kind of primes your brain to achieve that future reality. It makes it feel more possible, more attainable.
Interesting. And it sounds like who you surround yourself with also plays a big role in maintaining that positive mindset.
Oh, absolutely. Building a supportive environment is key. Actively seek out positive people who genuinely support your learning journey.
Like joining a club, like Anna did.
Exactly. Or finding a language partner who is also positive and encouraging. And don't underestimate the power of encouragement from your family and friends. Their belief in you can really strengthen your own positive mindset.
So choose your company wisely.
To an extent, yes. Yeah. And even passively, you can do this by listening to inspiring English podcasts or watching videos that share positive stories and reinforce that sense of possibility.
Okay, good tip. Now, learning English, it's definitely a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Absolutely.
The material really hammered home this idea of consistency and patience. The brick-by-brick approach, they called it.
Yes, it emphasizes that learning is a long journey. It's a slow process. It just takes time, like building a house brick by brick.
Every little bit counts.
Every single small effort counts. They all add up, accumulating into significant progress over time. It's so important to remember that slow progress is still progress.
Yeah.
You don't need to be perfect right from the start. Nobody is. What you really need is that belief, that patience, and just consistent practice.
And the positive thinking.
That positive thinking, as the material beautifully put it, is the cement that holds your entire learning structure together. It binds all those bricks, all those efforts.
I love that image, the cement holding it all together. And as you lay those bricks, those small efforts, you need to acknowledge them, right? Celebrate them.
Precisely. Celebrate every small victory. Honestly, every single one. Did you learn 5 new words today? Celebrate it. Did you manage to speak one sentence without stopping or hesitating too much? That's a win.
How do you celebrate?
It doesn't have to be a huge party. Just acknowledge it. Maybe write it down in that success journal or on your success wall. Or just tell your family or a friend, guess what I did today?
Reinforce the positive.
Exactly. It creates this positive feedback loop. Success breeds motivation, which fuels more effort, which leads to more success. It keeps you going.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. To recap everything we've dug into today.
Sure.
This positive thinking thing, it's a skill. It's learnable.
Definitely learnable.
And it gives you the energy, the resilience to keep trying, even when you hit those inevitable rough patches.
It's not magic, is it? It's not going to suddenly make you fluent overnight.
No. But it fundamentally empowers your brain, makes the whole process feel more enjoyable, less like a chore.
And it genuinely helps you overcome obstacles that might otherwise just stop you cold. It reframes the entire learning experience.
From something daunting into what?
Into an exciting, achievable journey of growth.
Yeah.
You start to see the possibilities instead of just the difficulties.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Given everything we've explored today, all these stories, all these techniques, what's one specific positive affirmation you could use? Or one small, consistent practice you listening could implement starting today to really empower your English learning journey, really knowing that every single step truly builds your fluency?